My name is Sima, and I'm happy to be here in the rural parliament. But I'm also thankful for meeting the youth delegation and working with them. We had a successful word cafe with very interesting and important discussions about rural areas' future. But we are not the biggest decisions maker yet. So that's why we will stand in the crowd. Because it's not about you and them, it's about us and our own future together. So now you will hear some conclusion about the Word Cafe. Thank you.
Money from the European Union is like a stream in a valley, providing water for the gardens of the villagers living there. We see more and more that bad actors are building dams upstream to limit or block the flow of this life-giving water in an increasingly hot climate. We need to make sure that our institutions and funds are not upholding these damaging power structures. Rural youth see this problem and call on decision makers to implement measures that ensure the democratization of access to EU funding.
The young people need a support ecosystem in order to start a business in the countryside, because rural business equals a certain lifestyle and cannot be isolated when discussed and tackled. Thus, areas of key importance to facilitate rural entrepreneurship are access to more affordable housing, co-housing or other initiatives besides property ownership, recreational activities and youth-led centers to allow young people to build local social network, and lastly, entrepreneurship support programs and education on the topic aimed specifically at rural youth.
If we want youth to stay in our rural areas, we have to provide different types of housing for different periods of life. The houses in our rural areas should be filled with life and youth instead of functioning as vacation homes for urban residents.
We have lost trust in these adoptions, like many other people who are not here today, but here we are, gathering together, expressing our needs. Now we have the opportunity for us to trust again and start the next level of dialogues with rural youth, the real impact in our villages.
Many young people suffer from mental illness, and the main reasons we have discovered are social pressure caused by the influence of social media and the competitiveness of the society, and the lack of hope, security and perspectives that leads to the difficulty with adapting to the constantly changing world.
And also health reasons like bad diet, lack of sport and lack of contact with nature. The solution we have are engaging young people in different projects inside and outside of school, providing activities and giving the young people a safe space.
Some of the gaps are caused by economics of aid, and without help from the government, they will not be solved or reduced.
We can say that there are same problems in the countries. Farmers getting enough money from the European Union and from the government too, but they can't use it well and fewer. The other big problem is with the prices. They get really expensive energy, so if they want to survive this energy prices, they should sell their products at higher and higher prices. In agriculture, there isn't any communication between rural and urban. And nowadays, also, a problem is that all the farmers don't want to change. They don't want to hear about new technologies, etc. But we think that the young farmers with courage and the right tools can change their minds, and agriculture will have a really good future.
Youth wants to be involved in the policy, if only authorities would give them the opportunity and the sources to develop. We will show how many possibilities we all can have working together as youth and governments.
We need to act in the law system from each country to get easier ways to access to the land for the young people who want to develop an agriculture and a livestock activity. Furthermore, a lot of farms have been disappearing in the last years because the agriculture system doesn't permit a balanced income during the whole year. So because of this, many young people don't want to get on NEET. We ask for a dignified income to have a bright future for us.
For development of rural youth, we need education. We propose creating an intergenerational mentorship program in rural communities, showing best practices and sharing successful models to the population in order to develop and deepen rural youth skills. We also call on the decision makers to visit rural areas as well as their communities and youth participants so they can get the best and most valuable information directly from people. And we also propose the creation of more Erasmus programs for those between 15 and 17, including both paid work and volunteering, supporting youth in their development while simultaneously supporting their rural communities. This way we can improve their independence and motivation.
During the World Cafe, we discussed about the impacts of climate change in our different rural areas, about the multiplying growth, wildfires, and the growing risk of food shortages, flooded islands, and climate refuges. It is urgent to stop financing fossil activities that keep contributing to the rise of temperatures. The overshooting keeps moving forward every year, and the situation is critical. It is urgent for policymakers at national level to take drastic measures. We also call for more democracy in rural areas in order to empower them to handling their own resources, because we believe that local level is key in the fight against climate change. So if we could end this report on the Wood Cafe, we would advise young people not to look and wait for opportunities in cities, but create them by themselves in the countryside instead. Take action.
So thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be part of the Rural Parliament. All the exchanges and your sharing of experience were precious for us. But in order to tackle these issues, we need to collaborate together, all generations together. So I would like everyone here who wants to collaborate with us to stand up. Stand up if you want a better and more inclusive rural areas.